Hey everyone, it's Professor Lusheen. This is the weekly review for 483 and 683. So let's talk about Quiz 9 first. You guys did a lot better than in previous weeks. It looks like the face-to-face section overall did better, but yeah, the grad students did better. So I'm always looking at comparing the quiz numbers between my undergrads. It's part of a kind of a study I'm doing now, just to see what's the difference, because you guys are getting the same material, though in the classroom we have more side discussions and sharing of stories and things like that. Overall grades a little bit different, but we've got a few in the face to face that are dragging down their average, similar to what we're seeing in the loss run data analysis, right? And the time still, the face to face, they spend less time on the quiz than the online. Here are some of the questions. I mean, everybody did really well. So let's just go over some of them. So the online section, only 65% got this one right. All things considered, which classification of disability tends to be the most expensive? And that is the permanent total. These are people who cannot go back to work without some form of vocational retraining. And that can be a 4-year degree. And so that includes some living expense, everything. So permanent total is the most expensive form. Face to face, you guys did good on that one. For our loss run data set, approximately 7.2% of our claims are labeled open. I want you to know, what does open mean? 73% got it right and said an injured worker has not either recovered or made 100%. So it's still paying, there's still treatment going on. The face-to-face section got 75% on that one. So that's, a good majority really got it, but I want to make sure everybody who didn't choose that, open means that the person's still recovering. The last one I want to go over is which of the following question best represents the adjusted annual premium for workers' compensation policy. And it's the EMR times the sum of the policy class code rate times by payroll divided by 100. That's what it is. All the rest of these are made up. So if you didn't get that right, the base premium is the sum of each policy class code rate times by payroll divided by 100. Jim talked about it. It's also on the WCRB site. Get familiar with that. The EMR is calculated differently. That's a 3-year rolling average, not including the current or past year, because currently in past year there are a lot of open claims. So they're still green. They're not matured and closed. And it's essentially the actual claims paid divided by what is expected, and what is expected, about 60% of the annual premium. That's the loss ratio. Maybe ask me if you need me to explain that again. Here's the update on the loss run data analysis. The comparison, we've got the face-to-face, we've got a couple people who haven't turned anything in yet. And I thought I was pretty clear that if you fall behind, it's really tough to catch up. And I don't, it's a lot of your grade. So if the rest of your assignments that you've done are excellent, you can still pass the class. It's just really difficult to do so. So we've got some people running zeros so far. And after 5 days after the due date, you can't get any points for it. That's the rule. Otherwise, for the ones who are working on it, we're getting averages 5.5, 5.8, 5.1, overall 5.5. That's A range. That's good. So please keep up the work. And please continue to reach out to me. Here are some things. One, I should not see in your description or explanation anything to do with OSHA recordability. Yes, there's overlap. And maybe there are some concepts we can bring with us, but please do not say, our data is OSHA data. No, it's not. It's work comp. You will get deducted for that when you turn this in later. We are not calculating incidence rates. We're not doing no lost time ratio. There really is no under-recording or under-reporting in work comp. There's fraud, which we're not trying to identify. And of course, the work comp data. Okay, so someone gets hurt. Let's say they get first aid or treatment at work and they stay at work. There's no claim for that. No claim is filed until someone actually goes to a facility for treatment or receives telemedicine and there's a bill. So if there's no bill, there is no claim. They may have started the paperwork because maybe they thought they were going to, but that's not that many. You saw how many $0 claims we have. So think of it that way. We are really only analyzing things that have gone, beyond recordability. Yeah, for if we were to consider it from OSHA record keep. So these are, we're missing all near miss. We're missing all first aid related, all that, and anything that can be treated on site that doesn't have a bill associated with it, or something that, because management, when they treat on site, can just pay it. They don't have to file it, because there's no third party who would be generating the bill that would go to the insurance company. So, we're not seeing the whole picture here. We're seeing a picture just of the things that cost money. Think of it that way. Make sure you clean and organize your Excel tabs. I'm going to keep reminding you to do this. It's really important. Sun's in my eyes. So please don't use abbreviations. Spell it out. Standardize your font and cell orientation. They should add, all the tables and figures should have numbers. If not, put a hashtag to represent it. You can add it later when you write your report. Titles, access titles, confirm the correct cell units. Please do all that. Please be working on your technical report. I'm not requiring anything this week, but you should be working on it. Don't leave it till last second. You should have most of it all put together, because you want to spend more time at the end really thinking about it. What do you want to message to management based on what you find to get them to invest? I'm coming up with a proposal in your introduction after you provide the scope, context, justification for the data study that you've completed. I want you to do a 2 to 4 page informative review of what is workers' compensation, how are claims filed, reviewed, and paid, how are premiums and EMR calculated, and refer to the sources. If you do a very good job with that, you don't have to take the final exam. I'll just transfer over that score. I'll just look at that and kind of score it separately, and I'll make an offer to you. Say, hey, you got an A on this part. Do you want to skip the final exam? And then you just get that score. If you don't want to write that up, that's okay. Or if your score is less than you'd think, you still have to take the final exam, or you could just take the final exam, whatever. But that's something I'm offering to you. So I'm asking you to spend a little bit more time, because really the final exam is going to be all about work comp and doing calculations and interpreting stuff. So maybe it's not just that part plus the other work you do to demonstrate you understand how to analyze the stuff and present it. That's what will qualify you to not have to take the final exam. If you need assistance, please email me. Here's the thing. If you have a question, email me what the question is and try to explain it out. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, please, because some of you are just, I can't understand it. And I'm asking you, please clarify. Attach your Excel document and have it open to the tab you're working on and highlight what you're focusing on. Maybe I can take a look at it and make whatever corrections or figure out what's going on and send it back to you. Just the open-ended question is very difficult for me. So please do that for me. My observations and tips are pretty much similar to what I had last week. Please read the instructions. We had a few people who didn't provide the information I was asking for. And again, each week I'm writing up, a Word document that I want you to transfer information from your Excel to that document so I can see that you're able to present it. Some people are just throwing me their Excel and saying, "Here, find it." No, that's not cool. I'm going to say now, the presentation is very important. Make sure you're crafting really good tables and figures. And the other is, please be considerate and professional in your emails. Some of you are just emailing me and complaining. Please don't do that. I understand this is difficult. When I was an undergrad, I was doing projects like this every 2 weeks, to be honest with you. Not this project per se, but I was writing computer programs that were simulating chemical processes in order to figure out what would be the ideal temperature, pressure, volume, whether we need to put in process control. Every week I was doing this level of work, which every night I was probably putting in 5 to 6 hours of studying. For some of you who are working, that's not possible or have families. But when I was an undergrad, at that age, that's what I was putting in. So I was putting in good 40 hours of studying aside from going to lecture. And it made me better. It really challenged me to develop the skills, the critical skills, critical thinking and problem solving. And I'm sorry if this is the most difficult project you've ever worked on. It's too bad. You should have had more. It's the other faculty's fault for not challenging you to the level to really, I think this develops you more than other projects. So for this week, I've got no quiz for the online group. There's no binder assignment. Just focus on this. Let's get caught up. We're actually going to get a little bit ahead here because we're not only going to do the where and the cause, we're also going to develop the new cause and actually look at the outliers too to determine whether they're different, the same, or if they're different, how. So that's what the expectations are. It gets us a little bit ahead. I'm not asking you to write anything up this week because we had a lot of complaints last week. Been a lot of complaints. Please let's be mature about this. You can ask for ask me questions, or say this is what I think we're supposed to do. Is this correct? I don't mind those as much as the ones who point out that you're not describing it properly, or you're not doing this enough, or you didn't show me exactly what to put in here. Some of you have actually asked that. Oh, well, you didn't show me how to do this. I mean, I've extended myself more than I ever thought I would for this project. So come on, we got to be more active than passive with this project and hear all the videos. So that's all I got. Hopefully I'll see you in office hours.